I'm from a company called Herd. We do various digital media things. We do work across web development, video production, digital strategy, and one of the things we do is social media. So I wanted to talk a little bit today about how we use social media with our clients and how our clients use social media in their work. But before I get started, I wanted to get an idea of how you guys use social media. Can anybody hear me okay, first of all? Is that all okay, yeah? At the back as well? Yeah? Good? Okay, cool. Who here is on Facebook? Hands up if you're on Facebook.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah? Okay, cool. So about half of you are on Facebook. Who uses Twitter? Hands up, Twitter. Only 2 people use Twitter? Really? Wow. Okay, 5 people use Twitter. Okay, 5 or 6 or so. What about LinkedIn? Who's on LinkedIn?
What is that?
What is that? That's a good question. Who said that? We'll answer that question later. So about 3-4 people are on LinkedIn. That's interesting. So it seems like most people use social media for personal stuff, right? So Facebook and Twitter more than LinkedIn. So we'll see a little bit today about how you can use social media not just for personal stuff, but for business as well. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about who we are as a company, and then to talk about what social media is. I'm sure most of you know that already though. Then to give you an overview of Facebook, Twitter and LinkedIn, and then to show some examples. But I'm not going to talk for that long, because I'd like this to be about you guys asking me questions and us having a bit of a discussion really. So, my company, we are based in King's Cross. As I said, we do digital strategy, creative media and digital technology. We work only in the non-profit sector, so our clients are people like Salisbury Cathedral, Refugee Council, Médecins Sans Frontières, the Princess Regeneration Trust. We only really work with charities. And the work we do is listed there. We start off with most of our clients by doing strategy and research work. Then invariably that will lead to some kind of digital production work, whether that's website development, video production, or some form of digital marketing. I've got a few examples of the sorts of things that we do here. At the moment we're building a responsive web design website for Salisbury Cathedral. On the left you can see the main website design, and on the right that's what it would look like on the iPad. We built an online community for the Refugee Council that allows artists and arts organisations to socially network online. Similar sort of project that we did for the international development sector, where we built a website for charities like Oxfam to network with each other and exchange information and knowledge online. Princess Regeneration Trust website we built. We do a lot of documentary and video production work, so this is an example of a film that we did with young people and the Muscular Dystrophy campaign, where we filmed in a bunch of cinemas, trying to get to the bottom of issues of accessibility to cinemas. We do a lot of strategy work, writing digital strategy papers, helping companies to work out how they're going to use digital technologies. And then we do a lot of integrated communications work, where some of our clients will come to us and they'll say, well, we don't really know what we want, so we provide them with website development, strategy work, video work, social media things, a mixture of stuff. And this is an example of a project that we did for a local arts charity. I wanted to talk a little bit about the way we've set our company up, because this is an employability week thing, I suppose, and you guys are all about to or looking to start careers and get into the world of work. And when I started out in this industry, it would be 10 years this year that I started working in digital. For me, I was interested in 2 things. I wanted to pursue something that I was passionate about, so I started out way back at uni. I was going to go and work for MI6 and work for the government, and I realised at one point that there's more to life than doing something that you're bored with, because you get 75 years on this planet, you spend a lot of time working, and what I realised early on was that I really had to follow my passion, and that if you are going to go into a job and you're going to be working until you're 65 years old, I definitely didn't want to do something that I would be bored getting up 9 till 5 and doing every day. And that's why the idea of working in the media really appealed to me. Secondly, I wanted to make some money. I wanted to earn some cash and be able to buy a house and you know, pay for the things that I wanted to pay for. But as time went on, what I realised was that there was more to work than just doing something that you enjoy and making money. If you find the right place to work, doing a job can also be about helping people and giving something back to whatever community it is that you're part of, or the people around you, or your local neighbourhood. So when we set Herd up as a socially responsible organisation, and that means that what we try to do is work with companies and organisations that we believe in. So rather than just working for any old company or a big oil company or a big tech company that's got plenty of money and plenty of resources, we try to work with organisations where we feel we can make a difference. Now that's just my personal preference. The reason I do that is because I find it makes work and what we do a lot more enjoyable if I believe in what I'm doing and it's making a difference. So we set ourselves up as a socially responsible company, and personally I think that's something worth thinking about when you're going into work these days, because big business and the way the recession has gone, things have not worked out too well, and it is worth thinking about alternative approaches to business. Anyway, moving on from that. Social media itself. So most of us here are on Facebook and Twitter, not many people are on LinkedIn. What is social media? Well, social media is defined like that in Wikipedia. Who can give me some examples of what social media might include? What might we be talking about? What sorts of technologies? So we've got websites like Facebook and Twitter, but what else might social media include? Anybody got any examples?
WhatsApp.
Hey?
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp, yeah, so apps are an example of that, yeah, that's right, mobile apps, whether they're native to the phone themselves or whether they're web-based, yeah, apps are certainly part of it. What about things like blogging? Blogging is a social media technology, yeah? So we've got a few examples here. It says there are 6 types of social media. Collaborative projects, things like Wikipedia, blogs and microblogs. A microblog is a website like Twitter. Content communities like YouTube, Vimeo, Flickr. Social networking sites like Facebook. Virtual games. Anybody here play virtual games online? No? Yeah, okay. Call of Duty, yeah. COD is one, yeah. Virtual social worlds. Is anybody on Second Life? Second Life, right? Second Life is a weird place. I reckon you guys should check that out, because basically Second Life is an alternative world online where you can go and you can create your own person, your own house, your own village, your own whatever. It's got its own currency and everything, and you can essentially live online an alternative life. It's massive and it's very weird as well. So be careful if you do online there. Yeah, so social media is all of these things really. It's how people are using these new Web 2.0 technologies to network with each other, to share content, to engage with their peers. And we're going to talk a little bit today about what this means in a business sense, how businesses are using these technologies. Again, the technologies we're talking about are things like blogs, RSS feeds, social networks, podcasting and video casting as well, wikis, social bookmarking, virtual worlds, forums, message boards, and so on. I don't know if you can see the details of this, but it just goes back to, this shows you where all these social media technologies started. And the first one is probably Wikipedia way back in 2001. So Wikipedia is like 12 years old already now. Twitter is only 6-7 years old itself. Just to give you an idea of how big this social media stuff is, how many of the top 10 most popular websites in the world do you think are social media websites? Let's see, how many of the top 10 websites in the world can you name? Just name some that you think are in the top 10. These are the most visited websites in the world last month.
Facebook.
Facebook is one, yeah? YouTube, I think, is one, yeah? Google is also one.
Hotmail.
Don't know. Let's have a look at the list. So you've got the top 3. That's pretty good. Google, Facebook, YouTube, Yahoo. Has anybody ever heard of Baidu? No, me neither. I don't know what that is, but yeah, there's 2 Chinese websites in the top 10, which is amazing. Wikipedia, Windows Live, Amazon, and Twitter. So of those, which of those would we say are social media websites? Facebook, certainly. YouTube? Yahoo, maybe? Yeah, maybe. Wikipedia, certainly. Twitter, definitely. Amazon, would you say Amazon is a social media website?
No.
No, it isn't, is it? But it's an e-commerce website where people sell stuff or buy stuff. But it's certainly got social media elements to it. For example, on Amazon, when you go on Amazon and you want to buy a product, you read other people's reviews, right? That's social media, essentially. That's people reviewing content and other people then basing their purchasing decisions on that content. So even a website like Amazon, where we might not think that it's a social media site, they use social media technologies as part of their website. So it is, in fact, in some way, partly social media. So you can see of the top 10 websites, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, possibly 7 out of that top 10 are social media or related to social media in some way. So this is enormous. You can see why businesses want to take advantage of it. Some statistics, there are over 1 billion users on Facebook, 33 million Facebookers in the UK. Twitter's got 500 million users across the world, over 250 million tweets are produced every day. Viral videos, the most successful, well actually, that's not the most successful anymore, Star Wars Kid. Who knows what the most successful viral video is now? Gangnam Style. Is that what you said? Yeah, as of last month, yeah. So that's taken over Star Wars Kid now, that's the most popular video ever produced. Social networking is now more popular than watching porn online. That's the first time that's ever happened. If Facebook were a country, it would be the 3rd largest country in the world. In America, 1 in 5 couples that get together meet online now. These are all examples of social media. And if Wikipedia were a book, it would have over 2.25 million pages, which is pretty big. Social media statistics again, 20% of our time online is spent on social networks. 82% of people who are online have got access to social networks. This is an interesting one. This shows the history of technology. So starting out with the radio, it shows you how long it took, how many years it took for each of these technologies to get to 50 million people using them. So way back when the radio was invented, it took 38 years for there to be 50 million radio users. Then when TV came out, it took 13 years. The internet was 4 years. Facebook took 9 months. Now, when Google Plus was released a year or 2 ago, it only took 88 days for it to get 50 million users. That shows you the power of social media and how quickly, compared to radio, TV and technologies of the past, these things reach people. That's one of the most amazing things about social media. What do people use social media for? Mostly, as you can see, for staying in touch with family and friends. Very few people use social media for work stuff. It's not even mentioned here, really. 5% of people use it for reading comments by celebrities, athletes or politicians. But work's not on there, so it's not a major usage of social media. Again, here you can see what people use social media to communicate, who they use social media to communicate with. Most of it, again, is family and friends. But in the middle there, towards the right, you've got colleagues, 15%. So there is some work usage, and that's what we're mostly going to talk about today. So this little graph shows you the sorts of things that companies use social media for. I'm going to ask you to see if you can name some of them. You've probably already seen them there. But what kinds of things do you think companies might use social media for? What benefits might they get from using social media?
Advertisement.
Advertising themselves, that's right, so promoting themselves, new business, yeah. What else?
Research.
Research, okay, so you could connect with your customer base, you could ask questions of people and get audience insights, that's a very important one, yeah. Feedback, yeah, again, yeah, market research, exactly, that's a good one. Let's have a look at the list. So, brand building, I guess that's promotion, that's part of advertising yourself. Interactivity, feedback, and interacting with customers, yeah. Buzz building, generating excitement and awareness around who they are and what they do. Consumer insights, again, that's feedback. making their marketing better, reaching more people, creativity and innovation. Who would have thought of that? People can use social media to become more creative as a brand. Making things cheaper. Social media can replace certain old school business models that are expensive or take a longer time to do. Generating traffic for their own website, that's another one. And the most obvious one, generating sales leads. Yeah, so social media can be used for pretty much every element of a company's business. Whatever that objective might be, whether it's market research, generating PR, sales and business development, providing customer service, recruiting new members of staff. Has anybody ever applied for or got a job through social media? No? No? Every day I get messages on Facebook or LinkedIn from people looking for work. It's a massive part of getting jobs these days using social media. More so than I get emails to the company. And the last one is innovations. Coming up with new ideas, sounding out with customers and the general public about what they might want, and building your business around that is a very good way of using social media. So I'm going to talk a little bit now about the main 3 social media channels for business, which is Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. We'll talk a little bit more about some of the others at the end. Everybody knows what Facebook is, but in case you wanted to know, there's what Wikipedia has to say about it. It's been around since 2004, and it's mostly used for personal things, but as we'll see, big brands use Facebook all the time. Who's liked a company's page on Facebook here? No? You guys in the back. What made you like their page? No?
I have no idea why.
No, it just looked good, right? Or something. Well, whatever they were doing well, because they got you to like it and you don't even know why. So that's good, that's very good. Facebook stats, yeah, it's massive. They turn over nearly $4 billion, 4,000 people work for them. 16% of the time that we all spend on the internet in the UK is spent on Facebook. It's ridiculous. It says there that the average Facebook brand page is growing in number of fans or likes at 9% per month, and 65% of all companies now use Facebook as part of their marketing strategy. So it is big for business. I wanted to quickly have a look at an example of a Facebook page. Now, this is Macy's. Macy's, does everybody know Macy's? Macy's is a big department store in New York, in America. Thousands of people go there every year. But look at the number of likes they've got. Look at that. 10,317,229 likes. That's a sixth of the population of the UK like that Macy's page, which is incredible. So what I wanted to have a look at today was to see how they do what they do. Why is this a successful page? What can anybody tell me by just looking at that page, what they might have done to get that level of engagement with people? Obviously they're a famous store, so a lot of people know about them, so that will get them a certain amount of likes already. But what do we think they've done well here?
Well designed.
It's well designed, did you say? Yeah, absolutely. Their branding is brilliant, but they've got the logo is really clear. They've split the way they've used the logo box. In terms of brand territory, we've got 2 things going on a Facebook page. You've got the enormous banner image at the top, your cover image, and then you've got the logo spot. And they've done both of those really well. So they're integrated. They've used decent, consistent brand colouring. So the Macy's star is in the logo and here, and the red is in her outfit. It's on the bag and it's over there on the left. So it kind of looks consistent. It's really well branded. It's very clear. What else have they done? Let's have a further look down here and see. What about these boxes here? So on a Facebook page, when you're a brand, one of the most important things to do is to take advantage of those 4 boxes that you've got there, because that helps you put in bespoke pages or apps or whatever it is you want. Their photos are very clear. Their photos display their products. Look, you've got three young girls in dresses there. That's the kind of product that they might sell. That appeals immediately to the audience. You can register for gifts, for their gift list. You've got their recruitment page there as well. So immediately they're connecting with people, and it's all very well signposted. What else they do here is they've got this very, very good about section. Now the reason that that's useful for a brand is that is what Google will pick up from a search engine optimization point of view. So if you're a brand and you're launching a Facebook page, it's very important that you populate that about page, and when you click on that link, let's see if it lets me do that without being signed in. Yeah, you'll see that this here, this copy here, will probably have been looked over by a search engine optimization expert to make sure that it includes a lot of keywords for Macy's digital online strategy. So that's the third thing that they've done very well. What about the actual content here? So let's have a look what they've got. Here we go. This is a good example. Right, this is a Facebook post that got 6,524 likes and 41 comments. What can we say about this as a piece of content? What are they doing as a brand? If you can't see it at the back, it says 10 years and $40 million raised for Go Red Women. Celebrate with savings. Get 20% off when you wear red or buy a red dress pin. What are they doing here, do you think, as part of their strategy?
Promoting.
So they're promoting themselves, that's right. But how are they promoting themselves? What sort of thing are they saying? So they're doing two things. That's absolutely. They're giving people an offer, but before that, at the beginning, they're saying 10 years and $40 million raised for Go Red for Women.
So like charity or something.
That's it. That's exactly what they're doing. What they're doing there, if I had to paraphrase that, is they're saying we're a really good brand. We're good people. We've done something for charity. We've raised all of this money. And to help you benefit from that, we're giving you a discount. Look how good we are as an organisation. And people have responded really well. So very often, the way businesses use social media is not to directly sell to people, but it's in a soft way to interact with them and offer them something, give them some value. So they're doing two things here. One, they're saying, we're a good brand, we're a good organisation, we have done this stuff for charity. So they're associating themselves with some goodwill. Secondly, after that, they're kind of following it up with a follow-up offer, which is get 20% off. So the statement they're making is, we're a good organisation, come and buy from us, we'll give you some money off. And that's worked really well. They've engaged with 6,500 people there that they may not have reached otherwise. And that's an example of how people use social media in a very subtle way. It's not direct selling necessarily. It's offering people something in order to get something back. What else can we say about this as a post? What's the first thing that you notice when you see that?
It's the same red.
It's the same red, absolutely. More than that, it's a big image, isn't it? It's an enormous image. It's not just that thing at the top. They've put those 3 lines of text at the top, but the main thing that you see, it's visual. I mean, who doesn't notice an enormous big red sign like that? So it's very important when you're creating social media content that it's not just text, that it is interactive, that it is visual, that it does have video, it does have audio clips. And I bet you, as we go down here, we'll see that they've got a lot of images. And they do, look. They probably somewhere have videos as well, I would imagine, but I can't see any at the moment. No, for some reason they don't. So one of the other things that Macy's have done really well is to take advantage of the timeline feature, which you can't see, I think, without being logged in. No, you can't see that without being logged in, but I'll tell you what they've done. So essentially what Macy's do is, because they're an organisation whose history goes back to like 1800s, I think, or something like that, They've created a whole timeline on Facebook that shows their history, so they've got photos of the first Macy's store from way back in the 1800s or whatever, and they have that whole history going on as an interactive timeline. There we go, they do have some video, look. And that's a very, very good way to use Facebook's page system. So, moving on from that. Yeah, there's a summary of what they've done well. The other thing to say is they upload their content very regularly, twice a day, because the world of social media moves very quickly. So if you're going to take 2-3 weeks to update stuff, people will lose interest. If you look at the Herd Twitter feed, my company's Twitter feed, you'll notice that we haven't updated it since November last year. Now that's because I'm useless. But if you're serious about this and you want it to go far, you have to be like Macy's and be proactive and do it very regularly. So what about Twitter? We have a few people who use Twitter here. Yeah, about 5 people or so. Twitter is not as big as Facebook, but it's, I suppose, more of a, well, to call Twitter a cult site would be weird because it's not. It's enormous. It's got 500 million users, but it's not as big as Facebook in terms of number of users, but in terms of business benefit, I think it's probably more demonstrable even than Facebook. As I say, it's not as big as Facebook. Who here knows who the most followed person on Twitter is? Correct. How many followers do you think Lady Gaga's got? Yeah, but how many million? I guess 30 million people follow Lady Gaga on Twitter. That is insane. Lady Gaga. 30 million people, man.
They're wrong.
Go on then. That's an old statistic. Who is it now?
On the news, yeah, it's just the news.
Is it Bieber now?
Yes.
How many's Bieber got?
33 million.
Jeez. Yeah, he was number 2 when I last checked. So there you go. So he's taken,
That's when you last checked.
so he's taken over at one.
Yeah,
There you go. Who would have thought 33 million people want to know what Justin Bieber's up to every single day? Anyway, but they do. So that is it. But how do businesses use Twitter? Can anyone think how businesses might use Twitter? We've just seen the way Macy's use Facebook, for example. What would people do with Twitter, do you think? Advertising as well, yeah, to an extent. But I think Twitter's slightly different because you can't promote yourself that well. You only have 140 characters. So we'll look at an example now and see how Dell computers. Everybody heard of Dell computers, yeah? Okay, let's see how Dell used Twitter. In the very early days of social media, Dell had a real nightmare. For the first few years that Google was really doing well, if you Googled Dell computers, the first thing that you saw was not Dell.com or anything official related to Dell. It was a website called DellSucks.com, and it was put up there by a customer who was very unhappy with this range of Dell computers. There was a phase when there was this one model of Dell computer and its battery kept exploding and burning. And this guy, I think, had 2 or 3 of these computers and he got very angry, so he created this website. And it became really popular. People used to Google Dell, and what they would see first of all was this website with this guy ranting about how bad Dell was. Now, from a social media point of view, that's a nightmare because Dell's getting incredibly negative PR. They're going to be losing customers. Their business is not growing. But now, 10 years on or so from that time, Dell has turned it around massively, and they're probably the best known example of a brand, of a corporate brand using social media really well, and I'll show you a little bit about how. They've now got over 80 Twitter channels. One company, over 80 Twitter channels. They use social media and Twitter for absolutely every area of their business. They reckon that in one 18-month period, they generated $1 million through Twitter alone. I can't tell you exactly how they did that, so if I need that, I'll do it myself. But this is an overview of what they actually do. So they've got 80 Twitter channels for one organisation, and they break it down over every single department.